So we get Jack then effectively, and again, I don't know whether Jack knows that he's lying, because he basically goes, oh, there's this guy, Sandy Claus, and he rules with an iron fist effectively. He makes all his slave elves go around. But, like, he does a pause before saying that. So he kind of goes, okay, I'm kind of losing him here. I gotta up the ante. So he goes, he's Sandy Claus. Trying to make him evil. But Jack knows that's not, well, he technically doesn't see, oh.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I do believe that's Darren.
Oh. Darren?
It may be.
Oh, look, it's Darren back again.
The voice in the wilderness.
I'm sure the audience will bear with us while we try and get Darren's blurry picture in here.
This camera sucks.
Oh wow, that is a sucky camera. I'm gonna leave you out of the camera, but you need to chime in, because I'm getting Derry into some existential crises here.
He's been asking me questions that I don't know the answers to.
Good.
I got you back, Jerry.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened. My phone just the internet, electricity, everything just went off here.
So we're up to the part. We're at Act 2. We're about 20 minutes into the movie. We've already we've already gone through a few bits and bobs. We were basically talking whether Jack understood what is wrong and what is right, like what is evil and what is good. Does he believe that the fear that he gives to children and people is that equal to what Santa gives to people in terms of presents?
No, I think that Jack is very selfish, but he doesn't know that he's selfish.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, everybody's a yes man. Like, yeah. Jack wants to turn Halloween into Christmas. Yeah, everybody's for that. Why not?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no hardship in the town. There's no, like Oogie Boogie is some guy that never comes out of his casino, basically. He just sits down there.
But what is Oogie Boogie? I never understood.
He's the boogeyman.
Right, but is he just a bunch of bugs, or is he, what is he? Because, like,
he's a sack of bugs, and right. No, actually, I think he must be a bug. Well, Sally crushes him. Is it Sally that crushes him?
No, Jack.
Is it Jack that crushes him?
Yeah, and Jack.
Yeah, like someone crushes a bug that's been like, yeah, I'll get you, Jack, or whatever it says, and then it stops talking. So I assume that it's a bug, but also Oogie Boogie eats bugs. So I don't. Maybe he's the collection of bugs. Maybe it's like the collective. He's communism. I totally agree.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, anyway, sorry, go on. I just believe, I believe that Jack is very, like, the character. Whether it was meant to be like that or whether it was not meant to be, I think he's very selfish, because he is only, like you said, they're all yes men, because he's only concerned about, he's not even concerned about bringing it in, like the way they do it in the film. He's like, I want to bring it to them. And he's also like, when they don't get it, he's like, all right, I have to spin it in a way that will get what I want done.
And that's what I was literally just asking about. Is he trying to lie to these people? To pretend? Like, does he think that, like, does he genuinely think that Santa is evil? Like, because he talks about that, like him ruling all over these elves and things like that, and making them do things.
He just spins it in a way that he knows that they'll get on board with it. Like, he calls them, instead of calling him Santa Claus, because Jack earlier on in the movie calls him Santa Claus, but then he changes it to Sandy Claus for everyone.
To make it sound more gruesome.
But I don't know if he genuinely thinks that that's his name. Because he never calls him Santa. He always says Sandy. Like when he brings him, he goes, Sandy Claus.
What I got from it was that he's spinning it in a way that, because when he's talking about Christmas Town to all of them, and they're asking, is it sometimes we got a sock and we hang it on the wall, and then people pop up and the song starts.
Is there a foot in it?
Yeah. he sees that that they're not getting the whole. Well, to be honest, at this stage, he doesn't really understand what Christmas Town either, what it is either. So he's just he knows it's not what Halloween Town is. He knows it's not horror, and even though kids are throwing snowballs instead of throwing heads, but he knows it's not what Halloween Town is. But he knows he has to spin it in a way, like Gary said, that's more gruesome, that's more horrifying, that they'll understand and get on board. Until he understands, that's when he goes off into the loft and tries to figure out what it is.
But why? If he knows that this is a nicer thing, why does he go back to Halloween Town and think, yeah, this is what we need to make Halloween, is Christmas?
No, because he wants it for himself. As I said, selfish. He's trying to take it and himself. So he's trying to take it. But the fact that he tries and he acts like he's giving Santa a night off.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can
Santa can't take a night off on Christmas Eve.
I'll do it all. But I think it's just it's a selfishness in all of this. If we see something that's really meaningful to us all, we don't want to help out. We want it for ourselves.
And also, we want other people to agree with us. This is one of those films where it's this group mentality that people have. There's a lot of themes going on here. Stepping outside your box. The group mentality that people can be twisted in such a way. Oh, excuse yourself, Darren. It's like the Twilight Zone there, Derry.
Sorry, I realised that my light is bouncing off all the graphite.
Yeah, I'm back on this phone.
Oh, you back?
I'm back on this sexy phone here.
Oh, let me get you back up on the screen. There you go.
Bus. I could be gone in a second, but we'll enjoy this space while we can.
You're worrying me because I'm right across the next row over. So if your power goes, then I could be right after you.
I could be left talking to myself here, everybody. I guess it's another 3.5 hour podcast. So we just me talking about my feelings. So we get Jack trying to convince everybody. Thanks, Darren.
I'd hang up.
Yeah, I know you would. So Jack,
Gary is what we call in layman's terms a bitch.
A feisty bitch. We get Jack trying to convince everybody that Sandy Claus is this evil person that needs to be captured or basically emulated. I don't know. The logic is lost in this kind of little bit, but I get it. He's trying to
say. He's just telling the lads this is what I've found.
Why doesn't he just go and bust into Christmas Land and just be like, this is ours?
Yeah, it's just something, because he was looking for something, but he didn't know what he was looking for was Sally.
Right, but that's the thing, because she really didn't, we were already talking about this. She went from, being in an abusive relationship to, doting on this guy that doesn't even know she exists. And when Jack finally realizes that, hang on a second, I can't do Christmas very well. He even says he's done it all wrong. Well, might as well just go with Sally, I suppose. That's the alternative. If he did Christmas really well, Sally probably wouldn't have gotten a word in edgeways.
Yeah.
Is it edgeways or edgewise? I've always wondered. Edgewise? Edgewise. So we then get Jack going up to his tower and experimenting on Christmas. So this is where I kind of had a bit of a chuckle, because I thought, right, Halloween. I'm not a big fan of Halloween. I know a lot of people are.
Very likes Halloween.
Yeah, a lot of people like Halloween. A lot of people like it over Christmas, and I find that very sad.
All of my family, man, that's kids, and they got it from Amy. Amy fucking loves Halloween. Celebrates it more than Christmas, and I can't understand it.
Forget the baby Jesus and everything. Santa.
No, to each his own. As I said, because I have the kids here and Amy, and I love that they love it so much. So I try and do my hardest to celebrate with them, and they just have to put up with me on Christmas.
Well, there you go. You get to have your Christmas then. But I'm a big Christmas lover.
Me too.
But the
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
that is so when I think of Christmas, and this is kind of what I liked about this film as well. So Jack doesn't know what Christmas is. He hasn't grown up with Christmas. So he's superficially seen Christmas Town, and he doesn't know the feeling of Christmas.
He's only been there once.
He's been there once. It's like I've gone to Spain, so now I'm going to make every one of my friends be Spanish. We're all going to celebrate Spanish holidays.
Yeah.
It's like, those friends that come back from a 2-week vacation and they're like, yeah, we're Italian now. And I'm like, Jesus. So we'll get into... So Jack is trying to find the meaning of Christmas, which I just kind of find...
I wasn't on.
We didn't get sidetracked. Actually, what we did was we got down into a rut of whether Jack knows what morality is.
Yeah, we went all existential again.
When you're not here, Darren, I just talk about...
silliness back to us.
Bring the silliness back.
And the beer. And
the beers. So, meaning of Christmas. Jack is reading all of the Santa books. He knows about Christmas. This is a good definition between having a knowledge of something and understanding something.
Yeah, very good.
My dad gave me a good example one time. He said he working in kitchens. There was people that practiced in a kitchen on how to make a dinner, and then there was people that went to college that read a book on how to make a dinner. And you wouldn't want a dinner from them because you can read all day and night about how to do something, but whether you experience it, and like I said, the meaning of Christmas...
Such a clever fucking man. That's like the best analogy ever.
We love Ted.
That's my Teddy. That's my Ted. So
he's 150 million% right. You wouldn't want someone made like you can read a book all day, but unless you have someone that actually has made it and practiced it, like, you know what I mean? Like, go on. Sorry, I can fucking talk through that all day.
Everybody could. So, but what I'm saying is that that's the difference between waking up on Christmas morning and having all the presents there and seeing the family. Like, that's the feeling that you can't explain to people. Like, it's easy enough to say, oh, it's a day when you wake up and you get lots of presents, and that only conveys like a bit of it. It's the excitement, it's the hype beforehand. Like, that's what Jack is trying to basically do in getting baubles and sticking them into beakers and boiling the beakers. He actually gets out a book. I have it here, a little still from it. He gets out the book. It's called The Scientific Method. It's like, you can't do that to a feeling.
Yeah.
You can do that with Halloween, in my opinion. You can say, ooh, it's scary, and, we know how to scare people. X, Y, Z. Right?
No, I think it's the opposite. I get what you're saying with Christmas, but I think on the opposite end of the spectrum, I think it's the same for Halloween, for people who just feel it. And like, we have Christmas movies, and like, you have obviously a movie, Jamie, that you're like, when you think of it, you think Christmas, you're like that fucking feeling of watching, sitting down with a cup of tea, coffee, a beer, whatever it is, sitting down as a child. People have those same feelings about Halloween, about horror movies, sitting down, or maybe cartoon Halloweens. Like, I have Halloween Town. If anyone has ever seen Halloween,
it's the weather, it's the kids going around dressed up, it's the face paint.
You can explain all of that though, in the context of the movie. Let's say, I would make the argument that Jack's understanding of Halloween is what he's trying to do with Christmas. And I would agree with Halloween in that aspect. So, for example, you know how to scare somebody. You can write a horror film, but you can't necessarily write a film that gives someone the feeling of Christmas without embodying the feeling of Christmas within it. Like, I don't need... Like, I can make a Halloween film without it being a scary film. and I could easily avoid scary topics. But it's really difficult to make a Christmas film because I would make the argument that Christmas is a feelings-based, it's about giving and it's about love and peace on earth and all of the good stuff. Halloween is, in my opinion, not necessarily, it's a day of tricks and treats, and it gives you this as a perfect example. They plan this parade and it's a big flamboyant thing, and the rest of the year they don't do anything else but plan. Whereas Christmas, in Christmas Town, it's all about building for that day, to give hope and joy to children. And nobody's agreeing with me here, and I can see the faces.
No. No, I agree and disagree with you. I think I know people in Waterford and in America who I've been in contact with, who plan for Halloween more than they plan for fucking Christmas. Like, I agree with you, Jamie, in the whole, I'm a big Christmas person. But I know on the flip side, a lot of people do Halloween parties, and they're like massive parties. Like, they're massive, like, they do Halloween presents. They do Halloween
I get that. Like, yeah, but give me a Halloween and I'll give you a New Year's Eve party. Like, well, what's, we're splitting hairs. Some people like Halloween, and then some people are right. I'm just going to put it that way. So, moving on, we see that I both agree and disagree, and I'm neutral.
I'm just going to say nothing to drink my beer at this stage. Stop there. Stop looking at me. Those big eyes.
So, defend it, Derry. Oh, so we
I've known you long enough to not take your bait.
I am a master baiter. So we get to the part where the awful husband, has like a sack on his head of ice, and that's never worked, by the way. I've had many hangovers and it's never been cured by that.
Never. A bag of ice.
He's gotten poisoned, basically, and now he's getting really pissed off. He's basically like, will you just stop knocking me out? Can you not just be subservient and sit there and do nothing all day and just shut the lid? What's that?
This is the second time he's been knocked. She's like, what did she give him? No, nothing's more suspicious than frog's breath.
Yeah, that's when the spoon with the holes in it. Yeah, you were gone during that part.
But that's even fucking... Like, that's fucked up that she did, like, she had to do that, like, have a spoon handy with, like,
she's like been there before. It's like she's been like, okay, she knows that he's going to try to ask her to, like, it's kind of a little bit messed up.
What does he say to her oh yeah, do you want me to stop? I'm like,
yeah.
Kind
when I heard that, like, that's fucking hard. That's awful. Like, now I'm seeing it. Like, what's worse? I watched it four times this week because I just love it. But like, I'm like thinking now and I would have never thought until you said, because I'm childlike wonder. I'm Michael Jackson here.
Whoa, that's a big thing to admit live on television.
Yeah, I would have never thought I need a whole like abusive relationship stuff. And now I'm looking at him saying, holy fuck.
She's a servant. She's a servant, and she cooks his meals.
Yes,
and I gotta stop. But she gets locked away as punishment in her room.
Yeah.
And again, she's been there before, because we see her sitting there being a bit sad, locked away. Jack comes along and now is tasking the doctor with making the reindeer.
Yeah. Should be fairly simple.
I like the way that they have then, like, they're making use of their really good characters, basically.
Yeah.
So Jack, again, completely oblivious.
Yeah.
He's
like you were saying, even, like as I said to you, from the very start, even the smallest characters, where he has the guys in the band, for fuck's sake, the head in between the guitar.
Yeah.
They play Jingle Bells,
I love that.
Even the smallest characters, man, are fucking used, and I love. Like, it's so, like, your man with who I love. One of my favorite characters is the guy with the fucking axe in his head, who he's like, this is a nutcracker.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm like,
just looks at it.
This has a fucking axe in his head, and he's just really like, all this kind of shit, like,
Yeah.
Fuck, like, there's some serious, like,
You don't need
you
to.
wouldn't think it's Israel, but I mean, a fucking axe in his head is still in his head, like.
Hey, it's 93. Like this is 93 Halloween.
Yeah.
Things were 27 years ago, Darren. Nearly 3 decades ago.
Get over it, Darren. Get over it.
Shh, go back to sleep. We're not old. We're
I'm
not old at
16,
all.
I'm 16, I'm 16.
Oh God, I never want to be 16 again. I'm like a 19 kind of a person.
Yeah,
19, 20. I can go there.
Like, give me my 20s.
We then get Jack like ripping Teddy's apart. Like this is what I'm talking about when he's cold. He has no understanding of feeling. Like the people in this town don't understand feelings. They show their emotions through saying horrible things like that was ghoulishly terrible and then frightening people.
I always mean, Gary will appreciate this, and Jamie you might. I always maintain that the mayor is like a manager in a retail store, a supervisor. He has to answer to everyone, and like when he has no one to look after, like he's like, "Where's Jack?"
Jack.
He's constantly looking for someone to like fucking.
Well, I was
to
just
help.
saying he's a two-faced politician.
But this is totally it. Like, but I have to say, because it made me laugh, because it made me think about the store that we both worked in, which will remain nameless.
Yeah.
Like about some of the supervisors that were there, but like they were two-faced, but they had no clue. So anything that didn't go the way, they had no fucking clue what to do, and they were like, "Oh my God, I don't know what's happening right now. Help me! Someone fucking make a decision for me."
But didn't he go? I'm just an elected politician.
I'm just an elected official. I don't know how to make decisions.
That's it. But like again, it's like who elected this person? Anyway, again, that's just where my mind goes. I'm like, God, the polling must have been horrible in that town. Who would like?
Does that mean good?
Yeah.
Good.
Opposite town.
Opposite town. I mean, yeah. Oh, it was terrible. See, that's the confusing thing because then they say things are terrible and they mean that they're terrible. So I'm like, make up your goddamn mind here, show.
Terrible is good.
Terrible is good unless you mean terrible, which means bad. I'll make a new word. Bad wrong. Badong. So we get Sally mixing up a little bit of juice for Jack, a little bit of brew for Jack.
And a fishbone for some reason. I don't know why.
And yeah, it's like he's not going to eat that, is he? It's a skeleton. That's like his relation. There's no meat on there. Anyway, the attempt of her to fling herself out of the tower again is like she has a basket outside where she like loosens down the food. It's very process orientated. It's like I said before, she's been here before. She knows how to get out of these places. She can escape. She is just wanting to look after Jack. She goes to Jack's place, passes by the three
musicians.
kind of musician guys, and I think they get some of Sally's song in there as well. Like I said to Derry earlier on, like their songs run throughout the movie, and that's why I think it's.
That's what I said. Yeah, they're like it's an underlying the song while it's playing while the fucking movie's happening. It's beautiful.
But that's why I think it's more stage. That's why I think this is done as a stage production, because you have those running themes throughout the whole entire movie, and then you get the big song, you know, the big crescendo at the and it's lifted up by the singer, by the character, not by the set or anything behind it.
The whole movie is building. It all builds everything, like from the start of it to din 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 din. It goes big song, but no matter what's happening, it's always building to a big fucking duet or a big song or and obviously at the end of it where they have the kind of fucking blues number. But it's just.
But that's what I like about it. Like I said, you know, you can ask all these questions about. Like, I am one of those people that likes to think, okay, let me work out the world that they're living in, so at least I have a kind of a cool understanding of it. I have my own personal understanding of it.
Gotcha.
But the movie doesn't allow you to do that necessarily because, like you said, it builds on itself, and it builds on itself so quickly that you're kind of on to the next part before you're questioning these sorts of things. And again, I know it's a child's film, but what are you going to do? I'm too old now. Too old to look at it from these old eyes. So I have to question these things. But, in questioning them, we find out that these, characters are pretty fucked up and being abused. Again, we get to the part where Sally's jumped out of the window and she's basically just sewing herself up.
Like, that's what I saw. I was like, I read something earlier about the what did I read? It was like the suicidal scene in Night Before Christmas. Like, what's it? I was like, but I thought there was like some secret scene. I was like, oh, and all of a sudden you see her jumping out. But when they said it works if you replace music.
Mm-hmm.
So they played Nothing Compares to as she's jumping out, but you see her going towards the camera, and I was like, and they slowed it down. I was like, oh my god, that's so bad. And you see her, but you don't see her hitting the ground, and she jumps up and she hits the ground, and she just stays.
Yep.
Like, and then her arms and everything. Like, what's worse about it now as an adult, which I hated, the fact that I'm looking at it like this now, I'm like, that's
ruined it.
That's, oh my god, that's heartbreaking.
Actually, there's a really good. Okay, so maybe Derry would know this. You know one of those world famous pictures of that woman that jumped from the Empire State Building and she ended up in the car. But her body looked basically untouched. Have you ever seen that picture?
No, actually.
She was called, like, her face was still painted perfect, like 1920s, and she had flung herself off the top of a building. The way that she landed is like, I believe, like this. So we're taking a little bit. Those of you that are watching at home, feel free to join in. Google suicide lady picture. 1920s maybe.
And if you're context
of it.
Oh wow, okay.
So
she's back.
So the way, oh no, maybe it isn't. Maybe it isn't. Okay.
Evelyn McHale.
That's it. Evelyn McHale. The Most Beautiful Suicide, it was called. Very, very awesome picture. I'd watch it. But it reminds me of that. That kind of... She's fallen, like, Sally has fallen in this picture, but she doesn't look distressed. She doesn't look uncomfortable. It just makes me recall that. I don't know if there's any similarities between that in my own head, but there you go. So she starts to sew herself up. She's filled with like loads of leaves and everything, which is a bit unusual.
So hang on a second. Oh my god!
The Most Beautiful. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
No, but it looks like a painting. Is it? I kind of feel horrified that I'm like
attracted to that lady.
Yeah, but no, yeah.
Yeah, no, but no, yeah.
No, but I mean, like, the fact that it's a beautiful picture, and then you think about what actually has happened.
But that's what I'm talking about. You're saying earlier on, you slow this Sally falling kind of down. You put a little bit of music.
Yeah, it's all about perspective.
And that's what I was talking about, where the film builds on itself so rapidly in it doesn't bring anything down in the film. Like when she jumps out of the tower, the music in it isn't actually that sad from what I could remember. No. It's not a sad music.
Not at all.
It's like a clumsy that kind of like, oops, I've fallen out the window.
The next thing, she's like sewing herself up, like putting on gathering up, get her basket, and she's gone, like.
But that's what I was saying while you were gone. It's almost like we were saying she's sewn together, so she's a broken woman, she's falling apart, but then she just picks herself up and puts herself back together again.
It's a year after fucking ruining this movie for me.
Hey, and if anybody in the audience has any suggestions that I can ruin, or we can ruin
anybody else,
I can watch Elf, and I can make that really sadistic and sad.
Hey, back off.
I'm coming for you, Elf.
Just back off, Jamie Flynn.
Back off, man.
John Patrick Flynn, back the fuck off of Elf, right?
Don't you forget the blaze in there.
I'm gonna pick Elf.
Don't you dare pick Elf. I don't want to watch Elf at all. I like Will Ferrell, so don't ruin Will Ferrell for me.
You don't ruin it for me. So like, is this when she walks off and she has the basket of the fish and the? I don't know if she has alcohol, if she has drink, whatever the fuck she has.
Yeah, it's like a little like this kind of perfumey thing comes out of the bottle when she
With the butterfly.
Yeah, so she brings the things to Jack. I'll kind of go back there. So she brings the
question. Tell you this something actually you're probably talking
Damn it,
about
what you think about that?
In hell. What is the deal with the visions?
So that's the other thing about it. They don't explain it, and I think it's just that's another thing that I'm talking about. Like, these aren't necessarily like, they're implied. It's a mythical world. There's magical things. She can see the future for some reason in flowers, and that's cool.
Okay.
Why not?
I'm down. Sorry, I'm not.
I'm down. Man down. Medic.
I've already said that. No, sorry, I have to charge the phone.
So Jack gets delivered some lovely little things in a basket that he basically gets delivered by Sally. Again, like I said, he's being cold and dark and calculating, and then lovely Sally comes along to brighten his day with a package full of I don't know, yeah, like alcohol, I guess.
That's what I thought.
And a fish bone. Thanks, Sally, for my fish bone.
But is that for Zero though?
You know what? Maybe that would be nice, but it's not never. It's not like there's a note in there.
I'm just gonna agree with you right now. Just to forget talking.
No, because yeah, like I think that would make sense, and it's not. But that's like, it's not unreasonable for the movie to do things without having to explain itself. And those are the good things about the movie. Oh, Darren's gone.
Oh.
Darren's dead again.
Oh, so I'm gonna have to talk again.
You're gonna have to get in. Get on in, Derry. So, oh yeah, let's talk about that fish. You know what? That reminds me of something biblical someone told me one time. So,
this is the way it goes when Darren's not here. It's like straight away we talk like religion and existentialism.
So now we actually get to a really kind of a part that we can have a chat about. The part where Jack realizes, or no, he doesn't even know that Sally delivers the food, as far as I'm aware. He looks down and there's nobody down there.
Yeah.
Here's another perfect example of her kind of creeping on him. Not in a bad way. I don't want to say creeping as in stalking him, because she's not really stalking him. She's there as a helping hand. An unseen force, like a helping force, effectively. And that's sad in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
But again, doesn't necessarily come across in the film unless you really have a look at it like that.
Yeah.
Which I do. So this is where she sees the vision of Christmas being bad. Poof. So a little kind of a flower turns into a Christmas tree. Looks gorgeous. And then it ignites into fire. It's at that point we basically see, oh, is Darren back again?
Back.
Hey! You're in the ether. You're in the sky blueness. We're literally just talking about the part with where she's actually seeing the future now, where she sees the Christmas tree.
The tree and the burns up, yeah.
Yeah. So the vampires in this are really cool. Again, I'm kind of loving the vampires. They remind me of Michael Jackson a little bit with the little umbrellas they carry. Michael Jackson did that a lot, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, he had an umbrella.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ, Derry.
Sorry,
do you even know Michael Jackson? Like?
I'm not as like super fan of Michael Jackson as you two are. Am I out of focus?
No, you're in focus. Jack has a plan.
Is this for... Hang on a second. Is this when he comes out finally and fucking tells everyone Christmas will be ours?
Basically.
Yeah.
He finally discovers that what was it that was it. So he's bringing a doll, he's looking through a book. He then sees a picture of himself and he's like, what am I missing?
He reflects a picture of himself and he turns into there, like he sees that he should be Santa Claus. He should be wearing a suit and he should be doing what Santa fucking does.
Does a bit of an Ace Ventura where it's like that thing flaps over.
See this guy got it.
So yeah, turns himself into Santa effectively. He's like, yeah, all this black, I could do without that. I could do with a little bit of red for myself.
Put on this suit. Fuck it up.
He does that really cool song then, and he starts basically saying, yeah, I'm going to steal Christmas. Again, I'm kind of getting mixed feelings from Jack. I'm like, one minute he's like, oh, feel sorry for me, I'm lost, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And then he's like, oh no, I got it, I'll just steal Christmas.
I'll just steal this thing, yeah.
It's like it's not like with the intention of the Grinch, you know? It's not like he hates Christmas, he just loves
Christmas.
The idea of Christmas so much he wants to steal it.
And I guess that comes down to that he doesn't really realize that that's wrong.
But that's what I'm talking about. Where is his morality? Does he not understand? Because like when he captures Santa, he's like, don't worry, like this is perfectly fine.
You can have a night off. Like.
It's like he has like a social deficiency in that kind of like that. Wait, he doesn't have a brain. I can't really say any part of his brain, but
yeah, but he doesn't think he's doing it wrong. He literally thinks that I'm going to take over and I'm going to do this. You take a break. I'm giving you a break. So he thinks he's doing something really, really good, but until he obviously fucks it up, he doesn't realise.
But he does an evil cackle.
Yeah.
He's like, ha ha! I'm happy.
But could that just be like the way that Halloween Town people laugh?
Right? I don't know. It's confusing. They don't stick to things. Terrible is good and good is terrible. I don't know. So, oh, someone's vibrating.
Oh, not me.
Not you. Oh, actually, this is the part where he convinces the doctor to build the reindeer. I think we said it earlier on. He then calls around Shock. What is it? Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
And Lock, yeah.
Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
And what's her name? What's the girl's name? They've done the O'Hara.
Catherine O'Hara. That's Tommy from Rugrats, isn't it?
Yeah, but she did as well as in Sally, she did Lock in this.
Yeah.
So, like, this just shows how little money and how little faith they had in the movie, the Disney, that they had characters come in, famous, really like big actors, and do fun. Like, Patrick Stewart was in this movie.
No, he isn't. Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Where?
Like he done a guest role in it. I don't know what it just says on the cast list that he's here, and he's pictures there. But
I love that. He's just in the background. Hello, my name is Patrick Stewart.
Adam West. Like, your one did Catherine O'Hara. She did like multiple roles. A lot of people like did multiple roles.
I don't think that's strange in voice acting though, especially in animation.
Especially for like Catherine O'Hara did Lil as well.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What else was there? Who else did she do? Did she do what's her name? Angelica. Didn't she do Angelica?
I don't think so.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's not uncommon for voice actors to do like multiple voices, so it's not that unusual.
Yeah, I mean, if you think Seth MacFarlane in Family Guy alone, how many voices did he do?
Simpsons, you know, those kind of things.